If you want to see the progress on my Pan That palette for 2019 and see me introduce my Pan That palette for 2020, then stick around. Hi there, it's Hélène, and I am so pleased to bring you my 13th video. A good one for Halloween, right? 13th video, but 12th update for my Pan That palette. I started off with this palette back in October of 2018, and I wanted to give myself a little head start because it was the first Pan That palette I had ever done. Still the first palette panning project I've ever done, and I just wanted to give myself a little bit more time, and here I am now at the end of October 2019 realizing that I needed maybe a year more head start on this palette. Palettes take forever to pan, and this one, which is the Smashbox Matte Exposure, has a total of 14 grams in it for its total of 14 eyeshadows, but 2 mega size. So let me show you the progress at this point. So this is the palette, and if you will recall the last video, which I will put a link to the last video here, I predicted that I would finish what I had pressed in here, which was tonal. Tonal used to be up here, but I repressed it in here so that I didn't damage my brush by going to the outside edges of the pan. I just find that that's really tough on a brush. And I told you that I would have 1 or 2 new pans. Well, as it turns out, I have 1, not 2 new pans, and one that is very, very close to being at pan, or to see pan. But it's kind of interesting because I really thought that it was going to be one of these two that would be my next pan. Not this one, but I figured it would be at least one of these two, and it wasn't. The one that I'm actually closest to pan on after this one, that I hit pan on, is this one, which shocks the heck out of me because it is just about, it's one of the 3 darkest shadows in this whole palette. I did break the black one, so I have no there's no cred on this one because I did not pan that pan. So overall, I have 3 empty pans now, and this one that is well on its way. But I figure next time I'm going to have this one with pan and one of these two. I'm just not sure which one I'm going to go after first. I know which one I'm going to go after first. I'm going to go after this one first, I'll be honest. Now I'm going to leave this one to pan. I don't think I'm going to be focusing on it at all this year. I think that I'm going to start off with this wheat color next year because it's a huge pan, and it just, I think that a fresh start, fresh year, I'll feel like I've got somehow more time to get pan on. It's weird how my brain thinks, but let me just give you the names of the ones I want to focus on. So this one is Suede, this one is Sumatra, and then over here is Desert. That's the one I'm probably going to focus on out of these two, but just in case I focus on this one, for some reason, it's called Grounded. So those are the shadows that I will be using. Now, this past month, what did I use? I definitely used these two. I did not use anything else here. Oh, except, no, that's not true. I did use Black Plum and this one up here, Drizzle, once. And definitely focused on this one, like I said, this one, and I did use this one up here, which is, what is it, Spice, once. I think I used this one as liner once as well. But anyway, the ones that I really did a lot of damage on for sure are these two, definitely. And I mean, it shows, it really shows. I'm really happy with the progress this month, and I will have progress pictures coming up for you. I think I have my plan for this coming month. I just talked about that. And based on what the scale is telling me weight-wise, I managed to use up a whole 3/4 of an eyeshadow. I'm over the moon. That really means that I focused on this palette because I've been focusing on all sorts of other shadows over the last month. I've definitely been focusing on the quad of the month, although just 2 looks this time around. I've been focusing on the round 7 of the palette roulette, which is a really fun activity, and now am focusing on round 8. If you haven't seen those videos or participated, they're great. I'll put the latest one right here. I'm really excited to have used up that much eyeshadow in just over a month's time. I mean, that's really cool. Now let me cut in with the new palette for 2020. I have decided that I am going to continue on with this palette. I want to finish it. I really, really want to finish it. And that is a testament to Smashbox shadows. I think that they are fantastic. I really enjoy them. I enjoy the looks I come up with every single time. And it's also a palette that is easy to pair with other palettes. I mean, it's really, really great. I think I'm going to continue on for 2019, focusing on the warm shadows, and then I'm probably going to start off 2020 with the cooler side, which I know will make a few of you very happy. I have been using the cooler side, but not focusing on it so much. I think that that's because there were just more shadows on the warm side from my perspective. From here up, I could use all these warm shadows, and this one as well, I felt went really well with the warm side. So I think that's more what caused me to do more warm looks, because I like warm and cool looks. I don't really have a preference. I find that with green eyes, you can kind of get away with anything. So I'm pretty happy with that. If you weren't aware, green eyes kind of take on the colors that you're wearing to a certain extent, depending on the type of green eyes you have. And that's what my eyes are. They tend to adapt to whatever I have on. So it's a little bit of, it feels like a makeup superpower. And I do like that advantage very, very much. So I will be using this one next year, but it's going to have a buddy. I am bringing another palette in, and I am bringing a palette that has different mattes and some shimmers as well. Can you guess which one? I want to pan this palette. And I want to pan this palette because it bugs me. So I've lost majority of 3 shadows because I dropped it. This one it was a nice light shimmer. This one is kind of a goldy shimmer, and then this one, I don't even remember what was in it. It's probably just as well, it would just hurt. Now, what is left in this palette is a taupey matte, and then a gray, chocolate, and burgundy shimmer. So I think that this set of shadows is going to work really, really well with its sister, at least for this panning project. I really think, hopefully you can see them all, I really think that these two complement each other. And so I'm really looking forward to using up this palette as well. Now, the default palette that I will use will always be this one because it is the most versatile and can be paired up with so many different products. And I'll be dipping into this one in order to enhance the Smashbox matte exposure when I feel like that's all I want to wear in a given day. And I think that based on the fact that these pans for this one, they're tiny. They're 0.85 grams each, so they're 15% smaller size than the small pans in the Smashbox Matte Exposure. I think that they are not going to be that hard to use up. And I have some wear. The most wear that I have right now in the shimmers is the chocolate brown and this one right here. This is On the Runway and Serving Up. And the most challenging color, I think, out of the whole thing to use up will be You Slay. And it will be You Slay because it's a red, and I'm not going to wear red over and over and over again, whereas the other ones are quite neutral. Let me know what you think of my continued use of the Smashbox Matte Exposure and of its new sister palette for penning purposes. But I will leave it at that, and let's get on with the progress pictures. I hope you enjoyed the progress pictures. 3/4 of an eyeshadow done since the last update. I am so happy, and I can't wait to bring you my next update. I will officially start this new Pan That palette November 1, and that is using the Smashbox Matte Exposure and the Marc Jacobs Leopard Frost from, I think it was last holiday, so holiday 2018. So let me know what you think. I would love to hear what you think of the choice of a sister palette for the Smashbox Matte Exposure. I also thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate it every single time. I do look forward to seeing you in the next video. But for now, take care.